Rugby has been winning ahead of the weekend.
Yeah, there are lots and lots of excitement that we got to see in Kakamega, Kenya, and that was in the FEASSA Schools East African Games. Uganda won 2 medals in the rugby competition for boys and girls. The Jinja SS girls won the rugby sevens, and the Jinja SS boys won bronze in the rugby 15. So it's very exciting times. I am so happy that we've managed to bag a medal. It's always difficult, to be honest. It's been a while since we had some success at the East African Games, and what a performance from the boys and the girls, especially combining Walukwa Titans, Walukwa Barbarians, Jinja Hippos, and Nile Rapids, and getting legitimate students, top-level athletes going out there and competing and bringing a medal back home.
Of course, we could also start to assess the situation that we're finally beginning to put our hats in the ring at this level. The grassroots are steadily getting an increase. What does this say to you, especially on the backdrop of, one, how much sponsorship from the corporate bodies that has been going into schools rugby, but also the numbers that have been following? Is this a culmination of the fact that the future is bright?
I think you can say the future is bright, but the past used to be bright as well.
Brighter, yeah.
Yeah, and perhaps the past used to be brighter because the St. Mary's College Kisubis, the Namiliango colleges, the St. Joseph's College Laibis used to go for East African Games and dominate out there.
Okay.
So for me, it is a return to the good old days, but we made 5 steps back. Now we are beginning to make the 3 forward, and hopefully maybe the next few editions we can begin to see us cover that space and then move forward. The beauty about it is that the performance of these teams is not the traditional, let me call them Ivy League schools that are performing.
Yeah.
One, it's the second time we're having rugby sevens for the girls at East African Games. Maybe next year the 15s can start. We have more teams that are taking part in the East African Games. In the past it used to be 4 or 5. Now you have as many as 8 teams taking part in the East African Games across the board. So for me, I'm happy that we have teams going for these games. I'm happy now as well that we have new teams winning championships for Uganda, winning gold medals and other types of medals for Uganda on the international scene. It means that at least we have a bit of a wider base from which we can develop our rugby.
Okay. Right, so we will await the return of our victors, and hopefully we'll be able maybe to get a word or two on the subsequent shows that do come through. But well done when you do get to see this as you go home, because I do understand the holidays are here. Yeah, sit back and savor the moment. You are champions. Well done. You represented your nation very, very proudly. Speaking of representing the nation, and winning seems to be ingrained in her DNA in one form or another. Well, her team might be struggling, or her former team might be struggling in the sevens that we've had so far. But for Emily Lekuru, well, it's a whole other ball game altogether, as her team, Hokkaido Barbarians, Diana. I don't know how you put the 3 together. Hokkaido Barbarians, Diana.
Yes, that's the one, yeah.
Am I the only one who feels like Diana should have come before Barbarians?
Maybe Diana is the location.
Hey.
It's likely. I have no idea. It's likely.
I wouldn't put it past them. Anyhow, her team finished 7th overall in the 2025 Taiwo Semei Women's 7 Series in Japan. This is her debut tournament out there, where her team was the lowest ranked team of the tournament, and she did what we all have come to know her for doing, scoring tries.
Yeah, Emily Lekuru. And it's important to note that there were 8 core teams taking part.
Yeah.
And Hokkaido Barbarians Diana came in as the lowest ranked team, and they finished 7th. So as a bare minimum, they've done well, to be honest. But for Emily Lekuru, a couple of, I could call them noxia injuries there, have limited her game time, but she still did well. 4 tries in 4 rounds is a good return for someone who was playing against the likes of Jasmine Felix Hotham of the New Zealand of these days. So I felt she did well for her own account. The reason why I'm interested in us discussing about Emily Lekuru now is that now that the season in Japan has ended, what are the chances that we will see her on the 7 series here?
I can tell you where those chances start and begin. Should I give you a vivid example? The reason why, and these are things of the past, please quote me on this one, these are things of the past, they no longer do them these days. But the reason why you would have people go for tournaments and then depart illegally is because that ticket is expensive. So they found it easier that when you're there, now that you're already there, now start figuring it out there. So the whole question is, probably in her contract, is there provision for her to be able to return home? Is there that allocation? If it comes down to her having to figure it out with her team, the Black Pearls, I think it might prove a little more costly than effective for them.
I've seen the Black Pearl squad list, and she's not on the squad list for this weekend in Entebbe, so definitely we're not seeing her this weekend. But next weekend is the...
Wouldn't it be such a surprise when all of a sudden
suddenly she's on the list.
And the next thing you see on the poster, you
so
just
maybe next weekend at the Rujumba Sevens, or maybe another weekend. But of course, she would need some time off to rest and relax a bit. So you could say maybe at least maybe one round or two, one stop or two that we'll be able to see her. But away from that, I think it would be nice for her to get an opportunity to stay as long as she can out there, because then that means, one, it opens the door for everyone else, but then two, it ensures that she can begin to earn from her talent, which is a good thing. We are already seeing Philippe Okrach and Adrian Casito in France. We're seeing Santos Senteza and Eliphaz Emong in South Africa. There's Peace Lekuro in England. Emily Lekuro in Japan sounds like a good idea. I mean, across the border, we have so many players on the other side. Suman Mugera in Kenya. For Emily Lekuro to be a mainstay in Japan, that would be a good thing.
You know, it's funny, there's no hiding it, but somehow in this photo, she stands out.
Absolutely.
In whichever way you want to look at it, she stands out. So good goings, the Ferrari. Let's hope for brighter days up ahead. And of course, more winning. That definitely tends to follow you. Speaking of winning, I think we also won another battle against the Grim Reaper of Time, who inevitably gets each and every one of us, but at some point might want to clutch a few very early. There was that unfortunate incident of an accident after the Gulu Sevens. From the reports I'm getting, reliably, is that the road to recovery has been steady, and the colleagues or our colleagues from the rugby fraternity who were involved in that accident are definitely out of the woods. Any extra word you've had from them?
I think maybe the most interesting bit is that 4 out of the 5 have been discharged from hospital at Mulago, and maybe there will be a couple of reviews here and there, but at least now they can get back to their homes, get back to their loved ones, and continue with their lives slowly but steadily. I've heard, and this was from our handlers in the media group, the Uganda Rugby Union media group, that there's a likelihood of seeing Coach Leo on the touchline this weekend.
Oh, really?
I would be really, really happy to see him in good shape and him able to continue with his business. But of course, still we continue to pray and hope that the recovery goes on completely for everyone that was involved in that accident. And of course, since we're going to be traveling again to Entebbe this weekend, everyone can reach safe. We have a beautiful tournament, and then everyone can get back home safe.
I think maybe that's the point where we might also want to just emphasize it's a lot of fun, but fun is only eligible when you have a life. So if possible, Entebbe is closed, designated driver is a good idea. If you can, make sure that you might leave the car behind and make sure that you have one who you're sure will not partake in the party to the next level.
Yeah, even simple things like if you've been, let's say, playing the whole day from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Or commentating for that case the whole day. We still don't trust you with the steering wheel.
Yeah, you're probably tired, you know. Yes. If you've been coaching, managing, working, whatever you've been doing the whole day, and you've not had moments of rest in the middle there, it's okay to ask another person to help for you to come back home. It's all right.
Right, speaking of which, that is also my cue to remind you that as it is, we'll get to that in just a bit, but the Plascon Entebbe Sevens are definitely going to be live here for you on NBS Sport. That's on NBS Sport 2 and NBS Sport. Interesting photograph, this one.
Hi, man. Sometimes things are unbelievable. We see these things on TV, we see these people on TV, and we do not exactly know the scale, because everyone is big. Yeah. This is, in blue is Santos Senteza, starting #1 prop for the Uganda Rugby Cranes.
Small.
Santos Senteza is not a small man. He's a big man. Might be a bit short, but he's still a big man. But next to him is RG Snyman. Springboks #4 usually comes off the bench, but he's a Springboks lock for South Africa. This puts into perspective how big RG Snyman is. Look at his waist. It is on Santos Senteza's chest. And they're both standing.
Man mountain.
He is a big man.
And you see, the irony is, I think I saw this photo on social media and they were asking, how would you feel with these two bearing down on you?
The question was, and we wanted to go to the World Cup?
Me, I'll tell you one thing.
Right.
Simple reason why my only contact with rugby is on the scrum and in the comfort of the commentary booth. Beyond that, anywhere near the pitch, miss me. Even if it is for these challenges, Mbukiko, nothing.